October 29th, 2025, Cuba. After passing through Jamaica on October 29th, the storm killed several people and reached Cuba and Haiti. According to reporters, there were horrific and heartbreaking scenes of roofs being torn off houses, farmland being submerged, and ultimately killing dozens of people and affecting millions. Hurricane Melissa emerged as a major tropical cyclone in the Caribbean Sea earlier this week. It quickly intensified into a Category 5 hurricane, packing winds of more than 298 kilometers per hour, 98 miles per hour, and made landfall in southwestern Jamaica on Tuesday afternoon. Jamaica has recorded the most powerful storm in its modern history. Hurricane Melissa, which destroyed thousands of homes, flooded farmland, and knocked out power to more than three-quarters of the country. As it passed through Jamaica, it left a devastating human and financial toll in Cuba and Haiti, killing an estimated 30 people and leaving millions displaced or in dire straits. The Jamaican government said 25,000 people were in temporary shelters and tens of thousands were still homeless. The entire country was hit by a complete power outage. Prime Minister Andrew Holness declared a national disaster and said shelters would remain open for another week. The number of people affected and the economic damage estimated at 400,000, with an economic damage assessment of $22 billion. Jamaica has suffered human losses, destruction of homes and infrastructure, power outages, and road problems. Melissa made landfall in Cuba with slightly lower winds after devastating Jamaica, but torrential rain continued. The Cuban government announced the evacuation of more than 735,000 people ahead of Melissa's arrival. It is one of the most extensive evacuations since Hurricane Irma in 2017. While no fatalities have been reported, there has been extensive damage to homes and infrastructure. Cuban President Miguel Diaz-Canel warned that people should not be complacent, as heavy rainfall could trigger landslides. Winds in Cuba increased to 193 kilometers per hour overnight. The storm hit the country from the rural area of Guama, about 40 kilometers from Santiago de Cuba, Cuba's second-largest city. Villages on the mountain slopes were completely cut off. 241 communities were cut off, and more than 140,000 people were left without electricity and information services. In Cuba, residents suffered widespread power outages, the isolation of villages, and damage to information and communications, but no human casualties have been reported. After several days of rain, Melissa raised lake levels to dangerous levels. In the town of Petite, 64 kilometers from the capital Port-au-Prince, the Larigo River burst its banks and flooded entire villages around the lake. At least 25 people were killed, including 10 children. 12,000 people were forced to evacuate, and about 1,000 homes were flooded. If this storm had hit Haiti directly, we wouldn't have survived, said one Haitian resident. We have nothing to eat. We have no clean water, and the rain hasn't stopped yet. Haiti suffered human losses, widespread flooding, emergency evacuations, and serious humanitarian problems. Melissa, one of the most powerful hurricanes ever recorded in the Caribbean, continues to make its way. The slow-moving storm brought heavy, prolonged rains to mountainous islands like Cuba and Haiti, raising the risk of flooding and landslides. Millions of people have been affected by the natural disaster, with homes and infrastructure destroyed and thousands forced to evacuate. Melissa is a reminder that nature is still uncontrollable and that vigilance and preparedness can save lives.